Well, this is the bearing puller I've made. It's a general purpose bearing puller, but this is how I'm going to use it to extract the bearings from my mini lathe, and also to reseat them, now to put it back in, to fit new bearings and fit the spindle back. So what I've got is two pieces of C-section channel, metal channel. It's a common 75mm deep, so 3-inch channel C-section. That's a really common thing. It's not expensive. I just got this out of scrap metal, so it didn't cost me anything. And in the tailstock end at the moment, there's a 25mm hole in the centre, and in both pieces there's two 12.5mm or 1/2 inch if you want in America holes to pass some threaded rod through, and I've cut, it's got to be wider than the headstock obviously, with enough clearance for your the bolts. So I just chose 30mm either side, with the hole centered in that 30mm, and it's got the threaded rod's got to be long enough to go through all of this. Mine are 1 foot long. You also need a piece of pipe or tube, or you could turn something that's, the hole is slightly bigger than the bearings, but it still sits on the face of a boss if you've got one, if you see what I mean. Mine's got a boss here that holds the bearings, and it's on the face of that boss, but it's not interfering with the bearing. That's for when you're pulling the bearing off. I'm only reseating the bearings today. I've also got underneath this another piece of this angle, just to hold this up, to make it easier to fit and line up everything, and a couple of push sticks which were the right thickness. I should cut a piece of wood the right thickness there for this, just so that it's easy on my lathe. So the back plate here is at the moment over my the thread for my hand wheel. So it's pushing that bearing in, and at the front there's space inside this tube to push the bearing, but it won't be pushing on the bearing on the spindle. They're not pushing on the spindle, we're just reseating that back bearing. So I'm just going to nip these up a little bit, and it did move in. There we go, it's just moved in just that little bit, and it's reseated that bearing. And I'm going to look around it, and it looks pretty good. I'm going to give it one more nip on that side, and that's it. I'll take it apart now so you can see. To push the bearing off, push the bearings out, you've got to turn this around so that this bit with no hole is pushing against the back of the thread for the hand wheel, and the tube's still at the front, so that the spindle and bearing will push out into that tube. I don't know, yeah, that will come off like that without taking it apart. Oops. So there's the tube, look. Oh, there's a good 1.5 inches there too. So that fits. Oh, I've pushed the front bearing out a little bit. I thought that might happen. So what I need now is a washer on either side of this, the same size of as the bearing, the outer race, because you only want to press on the outer race. So I've got to make 2 washers to press on the outer races, and then just clamp the outer races. So I'll do that, but I'll just show you this because it's the same thing. There's a hole in one end there, and there's not in the other, and that gets you by for loads of different positions with bearings. Very easy to make, just 4 cuts with an angle grinder and 5 holes. Very simple. Thanks for watching.